Hey folks, I think we are starting to go live, setting everything up on my end. Just give me a few minutes while I set up some audio levels and try out some things. Check if my background music is working. Okay, that works. I'm gonna call up the gang on Discord. Few minutes while I set up some audio levels and try out some. There we go. Shooting out an announcement on Discord. We are live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, everyone. So, for those of you who don't know the schedule, we have 3 events right now. We have the release of Divided States Episode 2, which starts right now. Livestream start, full episode premiere. Then we have a crew chat and Q&A, and then we have the start of the public premiere with director's commentary. So you're gonna all watch the episode early with me, and then we'll watch it a second time, and I will give director's commentary. Just a second here while I try and set this thing up. We are live. Join us for the release of TDS 2. I will be undeafened on Discord, so if you want to ask questions on Discord, feel free to ask them. You will be on stream because that audio is in the mix. There we go. Boom. And then I'm going to shoot a quick message out to everyone, and then I will be in about a minute undeafened on Discord, so if you want to. Hello to everyone around the world. Starting in 60 seconds. 60 seconds, people. Let me see if I can I tag a live stream in YouTube? Just a second. Join us for the release of.
Oh god, the looping has begun.
Yeah, so if you are listening, you should mute me on Discord. So you can get the audio from the live stream. I've set up so that the delay is quite low, so normally you should be able to speak normally because we'll have the crew come in. Or is it on the live stream itself that it's looping? Let me check. Yeah, so if you are listening, you should mute me on Discord. No, it sounds good on my end. Make sure to mute me on Discord. And only keep the live stream open because it's with a low delay, you should be able to get it done. We got a hello from Seattle and a hello from the future. Well, at least 30 minutes in the future. Europe is still the 11th of August. And then we have probably Australia on the 12th of August. As well as most of Asia, I think. Now, I'm getting interrupted. Just for the Divided States Episode 2. Watch the show early and join me and the crew. Commentary doing as Q&A. So I will be taking questions on both Discord as well as YouTube live chat. The easiest way is to just answer YouTube live chat. Because that's the one that I have on the right side of my screen. I don't have Discord always open because I need my other screen to show stuff on screen. Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna go live with this one. Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream for The Divided States Episode 2. I hope you brought snacks. This is gonna be a long one. Scheduled for a 2-hour and some spare change live stream because we're gonna do 2 viewings. First one is right away. Normally in... No wait, this is mirrored. Here you will see that there is also a Suzerain live stream, Suzerain giveaway going on. So, I'm gonna switch you guys to my screen. We're gonna start with the episode immediately. It is a 37-minute episode, took 14 months to make. A very significant amount of work went into it. I hope you enjoy. We will do a full viewing and then we will proceed with the rest of the live stream. If you have questions, I will be on the YouTube live chat answering questions during the live stream. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all after the viewing, guys. I actually have prepared notes this time. I have like a nice bundle of papers of things that I want to get through in the after show. Alright, what's the button I need to press here? Here we go. Alright, so we're moving into the episode, guys. Everyone enjoy. This is The Divided States, episode 2, Friends Like These. There is a burden. I am incredibly proud to introduce this episode's sponsor. Suzerain is a stunning and deep political simulation game where you play as Anton Rain, president of the fictional country of Sortland. Set in a universe akin to our own timeline's 1950s, Suzerain sees you navigate a complex Cold War atmosphere in an alternate timeline. The developers also happen to be fans of the channel, so they teamed up with us to promote their new 2.0 overhaul update, as well as an exciting upcoming expansion, the Kingdom of Ritzia DLC. Check out the pinned link in the description to visit their Steam page and purchase or wishlist the game. And now, enjoy the show, cats.
Last time, on The Divided States.
The 1936 elections were a fraud. It falls upon us today to set right the failures of the Democratic and the Republican parties.
Washington has fallen. President Howard Langdon has declared his victory. Ramping loyalist victories are placing ever greater pressure on the revolutionary states to the north. The city of Chicago is rapidly reaching its breaking point, and the Red State chairman has resigned in
Comrade Faulkner, this is the Bureau. Open up, please.
Comrades, wasn't expecting you.
Urgent business, Miss Faulkner. You're needed at the Workers' Mart. There's a matter that requires you in particular.
The revolution is a fragile thing, like a watch. The whole is delicately balanced. We have reason to believe the anarchist wing of the party is preparing a coup. We believe the anarchists are not acting of their own accord, but rather are being supported by foreign agents in our midst. Miss Faulkner, I regret to inform you your father was brought to the Mart yesterday.
How do you know about
He's confessed to reactionary crimes against the revolution.
Can make this go away for you, Emily. All you have to do is denounce your family, then...
I will not participate in a setup. We have Fifth Amendment rights. We have protection under the Constitution.
The Constitution has changed.
No! Get off me! Get off me! Michael! Why aren't you doing anything? Michael! Michael, what the hell is going on?
Comrade Faulkner, you're being accused of conspiring with your father, a noted industrialist. You're being brought to West Bank to await trial.
West Bank? Jesus, Michael, they're rounding up people outside.
Must be an anarchist cell. They'll probably be sent to West Bank. Poor bastards. Nobody comes back from West Bank.
They'd never take me like that. I'd fight like hell.
Comrades, you can't park here. Deliveries are in the back. Can I see some papers? What the...
Get to the tiring crowder!
This is Oregon, Country 5. Workers' Mart is under anarchist attack. Request immediately.
Ortegas, Mackenzie, flank left! Bennett, Doyle, watch the windows! Run like the devil is on you, boys! Down this alley. We're cutting to Cicero and 31st. Jesus Christ. Respectfully, but what the hell is going on, guys? This was supposed to be a surprise attack, but the Jacobins have half the city locked down. It's like they were waiting for us. Pipe down, you two. Our relief unit's here. Let's move out. Took your sweet time. We lost half the squad holding this area.
Hold your horses. It ain't exactly smooth sailing out there, Freeman.
Wait, you're not the guy we're supposed to meet.
Yeah, well, I'm the guy that made it through. Downtown's a mess. Jacobins hold half the bridges in the city. A third of our guys are stuck at the outskirts. Anyway, I brought something for you.
No. How? Who are you guys?
Chairman Crowder sends his regards.
Wait, we surrender. We...
You may run for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long
Bloodlocks!
God damn it! B-Block was supposed to be covered! That means all the others are dead! We have to...
Fuck! This whole thing's gone to hell. Friedrich, right?
Winsvaker. My name is Friedrich Winsvaker.
Friedrich, we need to make a run for it. We planted cars in the downstairs garage. We'll get you out of the city and meet up with the cell north of here.
Oh, Daniels, we're cutting through the office. Make it happen.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Everyone inside, hurry.
Thank you. You may have saved my life. Can you give me your sidearm? In case we run into more resistance?
Sure. Make sure to turn the safety off. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this kind of...
Holy shit. Friedrich. What are you doing?
Escaping.
Third Squad, is that you? What the hell happened here?
They got him. It's a trap. We have to double back through cell block B and get out with the extraction team.
Cell block B, got it. Let's go!
There they are. Light them up.
It's a trap! Fall back! Fall back!
What the hell was that? Jesus Christ, the mortar's under attack. We should double back and go help at the entrance.
No way! That second shot came from the prison complex. This isn't just a bombing, it's a planned breakout. If we can group up with the guards, we should...
Goddamn bitch! Faulkner, what the hell are you? Wait, no!
Oh, come on. Yes! Now I just have to...
Traitorous snake!
Put him out a goddamn window!
Don't play dumb with me! You're a goddamn death squad! I'm not going with you!
Don't even think about it. I said, don't even think about it! It's over, Faulkner. Drop the weapon.
Never get the fuck off!
Goddamn scab!
Me!
Straight to hell!
You glass traitor.
Oh, damn it! Damn it! God damn it! God damn it! Run. I need to get out of the city. Michael. Sarah. Why? Oh, come on, come on! Come on, keys. I need keys. They can't be far. Who steals cars from a goddamn prison? That's strange. Why would they leave this unlocked with no keys on it? Look. I am having a really bad fucking day. Drop your weapon, and I will consider letting you live.
Use your head, girl. If I wanted you dead, you would have been dead already.
You are not taking me alive, you asinine bureau tool.
What? No, you're not taking me alive, you revolutionary scum!
Revolutionary scum?
Do I look like I want to be here?
You're wearing the goddamn uniform!
I'm sorry I didn't have time to change!
Why are we screaming?
I don't know!
It's clearly been a stressful day for the two of us.
Clearly. So what now? So are those guys coming for you? Or for me?
Doesn't matter. If they find us, they'll shoot us on sight. As long as the Anarchists keep the guards occupied, we may have a chance to slip out of the city. Tap that wheeled cap over there. Do you know the roads here, miss?
Emily Faulkner. And I do. And I also know what routes they won't be watching.
Let's hope for our sakes that you are right, Emily Faulkner.
Jesus, it's like the revolution all over again.
Your friends do this?
No friends of mine. Anarcho-syndicalists. Anarchists. Radical anti-government types. They've been acting out ever since Crowder took power. They bombed the Board of Trade building. I just never thought they would take it this far. You haven't told me your name.
I haven't. But it's Albert. Albert Brandsteiner.
You're German, right?
What's a German doing in the revolutionary states?
Are you some kind of spy?
I was faculty at the University of Chicago. I was forced, with several others, to replicate a research project for the German Empire. We were moved to the building so that they could keep an eye on us.
What happened to the rest of your group?
Sadly, they all died in the attack.
I'm so sorry. Does it have to do with that briefcase?
When the breakout happened, I salvaged what I could from the research. Thought it might help me buy my way out of this mess.
So it's valuable.
To the right people, I guess. The Kaiser Reich's research is quite advanced. I'm sure it would be valuable down south. If my old network is still around, I know someone there who can get me out on a plane and out of the country. First, I need to get as far from the revolutionary states in British Canada as I can. Neither seem to like Germans very much.
You're headed south?
You do know that's Loyalist territory, right?
It's crawling with Germans, too. You planning on giving the plans back?
Not Germany. Despite what my accent would suggest, I have no love for the Empire, Emily. I have other plans. But I will help you get to your family first. After that, I will be on my way. You have anyone else who can help you?
We'll figure something out. Honestly, Albert, you're the first person I met today who hasn't tried to kill me. Right now, I guess that is just going to have to do. Our family manor should be just up ahead. I can't believe they took my father. I need to get my sister and mother out and devise a plan. We could go to Canada, hop the fence if we can't get past the border guards. Boy, my sister will not be happy to see me. We didn't part on good terms.
Emily, if your father has been suspected of treason, then it's possible that...
Wait. Something's wrong.
What is that?
Fire!
That's where our house is! Speed up, Albert! Speed up! No! No, no, no! No!
Emily!
Emily, don't! It's dangerous!
Mom? Isabel?
Emily, get away from the house!
Mom! Mom, I'm here! Isabel!
Emily! The whole place is coming down! Where are you? Emily!
No! No, Mom! Mom, get out here! I'm home! I'm home, Isabel! I'm sorry for everything!
Emily! Jesus Christ!
Albert! Get off of me! Get off me!
Emily, they're gone. It's over. They're gone, Emily. They're gone.
But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart."
Damn it! God damn it! Why?
Emily, I tried to warn you before. If the Red Guard did this, they wouldn't have stopped at your father. Your family would have been a target. It's what happened in Russia.
It's all my fault. I supported the revolution. I supported the purges. I just didn't
Stupid! I was such a stupid little brat.
We can't stay here, Emily. They may expect you to come looking for your family. Our car's probably been signaled by now.
I may have a solution to that. We're lucky they didn't burn this place down, too. Not too bad, huh? My dad's Chevy Master. I'd say the old bastard took better care of his cars than he did his own daughters.
This will do.
My sister and I used to take this thing out on joy rides in the countryside. Dad would get so mad. Jesus. They're really gone, aren't they? Where do I go? What do I do?
You should leave the country. Come south with me, Emily. We can figure things out once we get away from the red states.
Thanks, Albert. But I'm not running. If you're going south, the safest way is the 55, which passes by St. Louis. I have an aunt in the city. If you drop me off there, that's fine.
You can't stay, Emily. They would be after you.
Good. Let them come. This fight isn't over.
What do you mean?
My aunt is a part of the Social Democrat faction. If I know her, they're not gonna let the Jacobins take over this country. She will have a plan. She always has a plan.
Michael, Sarah, Peterson. They took everything from me. And I want to hurt them, Albert. I want to make them all pay. You say they're coming after me? Good. Let them come. I'll be waiting.
St. Louis it is. If nothing else, we can blend in there. I heard it's where many refugees end up.
That works. Albert, I'm sorry for what happened back at the house.
It's fine.
I shouldn't have. I endangered us both. I knew it was already done.
Emily, I said it's fine. You should get some rest. We have a long road ahead of us.
Thanks for everything today. You didn't have to help me, Albert.
Well, it is your car.
I guess it is. Still, you're a good man, Albert.
Yes. A good man. The German is here. Inform the boss.
Herr Jutzgard, I just radioed the coast. There will be a car waiting for you after the transaction. Are you sure you didn't want guards, sir? We are sailing straight into their lair. If the British National Guard show up, we have no authority here.
I am a diplomatic envoy of the German Empire. The double-headed eagle does not cower before the pretensions of snakes.
These men are no more than common criminals. We should not be treating with them, Irvin, old friend. It is beneath us.
Even criminals have their uses, Captain. We are soldiers. We must be prepared to handle a little unsavory business. It is a small price to pay to secure the borders of the fatherland.
As you wish, Herr Jutzgard. The ship will be ready when you return.
Leave the engine running. I do not intend to linger.
Jawohl, Hauptmann. Herr Rutger, we were not expecting you this soon.
Does the broker have a good reason for dragging me out to this wasteland? Or does he simply enjoy wasting everyone's time?
Herr Governor, surely a small journey is nothing for a man as vigorous as yourself.
Spare me your idle courtesies. Is the job done?
An official letter from the governor of Rhodesia requesting the protection of German troops. The British have retreated from East Africa. The governor has seen the dangers of independence and seeks imperial governance. We held up our end of the bargain, Herr Jutgard. Now you hold up yours.
Very well. You men call this broker a genius, yet he would trade a nation for a scrap of paper.
These days, nations collapse all the time, Herr Jutgard. One would say information is a much better investment.
I find it interesting that you presume to lecture us on geopolitics, Herr Jutgard. If your government knew of our little deal, they would call it high treason.
I would call it realpolitik. Let this be the end of our business. I can't say it has been a pleasure.
Herr Jutgard, the broker, he has a bit of a poetic mind, you see. The 13th Lancers operate half a dozen safe houses across the British Isles. This meeting could have taken place in any one of them. Yet instead, he chose this graveyard of empires. A more imaginative man may say there's a message in that.
You presume to threaten me, mercenary dogs?
Just making an observation, Herr Jutgard.
Let me offer one of my own then. The colonial wars are ending. A new world order is rising. You will find there are few places in the world left for your 13th Lancers. Perhaps when we next meet, it shall not be so cordial.
You disapprove, brother. Speak your mind.
That man was a monster. We had him. Right here. We could have put a bullet in his head.
We could have, sure. And the Kaiser would have replaced this dancing puppet with another, and another, and another after that. Germany does not lack for ruthless men with ambition, brother.
And because we cannot change it, we are just to go along with it. Be hired killers for German psychopaths. I have not slept a day since Rhodesia. We will never be forgiven for what we did there. We were
following orders. Funny thing, isn't it? The people giving us orders were simply taking orders themselves. Up and up the chain it goes, yeah? In the end, nobody is to blame. Theirs is a proxy war, a cold war. The great wheel of empire grinds on, greased with blood and despair. Europe has its peace, and the world suffers all the more for it. But the boss always has a plan. It's about time we tell you about your part in all this.
Boss, you told us you would always listen if we had objections. Why would you have us work as lapdogs for that German imperialist scum?
He has a point, boss. You always tell us you founded the Lancers to get away from the dictates of imperialists. Suffer no crown. Those are our words.
We just want to know if...
What's the count at?
247, to my count, Chief. Yak and Seidler are in the hospital after Rhodesia, but they may pull through.
247.
Nobody expects you to keep that promise, boss. We follow you because you are our leader. You give these men a home. The money is not important.
It was never about the money. It was about keeping a promise. I told you that we are making our guys whole. Every last one of them. Alive or dead.
It's not possible, boss. Even if we took every contract, we could never get enough.
We don't need any more contracts. This is our last job. Take a closer look at those papers, son.
I don't understand.
Do you remember what I told you when you were younger, boy?
You said there was a place in this world for a man with no name.
A man who's remembered by none, but remembers all. You were always too good for this work, son. You were always special. After everything we've done, it's going to be you. It's you who has to bring our guys home. This is the last job, son. I know you will not fail us.
One last job?
One last job.
I'll do it.
Gather the men. It's time I address them. And I told you all, didn't I? What the world has taken from you, we will take back. German imperialists, French socialists, Russian communists, British fascists. They sell lies. They sell dreams. Only we have seen what is on the other end of their pretensions. Only the Lancers. They call us hired killers. Mindless simpletons, drooling thugs to be discarded for their imperial vanities. But brothers, my eyes are wide open. I know what they're building out there, in the vast deserts of Africa. I know it will change everything. I intend to find it. I intend to steal it. And I intend to sell it to the highest fucking bidder!
Raise the dead. Angel's breath. Cold as stone. In the valley of forgotten souls.
Against the machinations of the algorithm. Will you stand? Kaiser Cat Cinema needs you. Subscribe on YouTube and connect with us on all channels.
First, I would like to thank this video's sponsors, Suzerain. The indie devs of Suzerain are new to the YouTube sponsorship scene, so please support them by checking out their Steam page to purchase and wishlist the game. This sponsorship comes right on the heels of Suzerain's 2.0 amendment update, a massive gameplay overhaul that improves every aspect of the game with new features and content. For those that don't know Suzerain, it is a top-rated political narrative game where you play as Anton Rain, president of the fictional country of Sordland. Set in a universe akin to our own timeline's 1950s, Suzerain sees you navigate a complex Cold War atmosphere in an alternate timeline. With close to 5,000 Steam reviews and an amazing 9-star rating, this gripping title really captures what it's like to play as the president of a country. Our relationship to Topor Games, the developers of Suzerain, actually goes back. go, there we go. We have Douglas coming in. Yep, we're back. So we have audio now. I need to turn on this. Can you guys say something again? I'm testing my audio levels.
Hello?
Hello.
Gotcha.
Hello.
I think that should be it. For the people that are on live stream, let me know if you hear us now. Sound is working. There we go. Let me just turn off my fan just so we can start. So important is that YouTube now allows us to trim segments of a live stream after they're done, so nobody will know that my audio was off for a full minute. So don't worry about that. We'll no problem at all.
It is a secret.
There is a secret to this. Is there a way that I can hide everyone who, like on Google Meets, who doesn't have his webcam on? So we only see tiles? I know there's a feature for that.
I don't know.
I don't use Google Meet that often, actually.
Change layout. Auto dial spotlight. I think I'm gonna switch it to spotlight. Yeah, we'll do auto. Okay, so folks, I have a bit of a script with me, and these are just like loose notes that I gathered for the episode itself. Because, you know, a lot of you sent me some of the projects you were working on, and I was excited to hear about what everyone's doing right now, you know, other projects that are happening. Now, if you came into the live stream, you just saw the first screening of The Divided States episode 2, and then we'll do another one in exactly 1 hour, which is when the full premiere goes live. And that's going to be with director's commentary. But we do have the hour to chat, to answer questions on YouTube, as well as give away 2 keys from Suzerain. So I want to make sure I rep our sponsors first, new sponsors. Suzerain 2.0 update just released, and they are keeping up with us. So I'm going to put a quick link there. And they also gave me 2 links, 2 Steam codes for Suzerain to give away during this live stream. That is going to be with a prize question. So give me a minute while if I pull up the exact prize question that was sent to me. Yes, so the first question for the Suzerain Steam Key giveaway is: what is the name of Anton Rain's political party? So for those who don't know, Suzerain is a political narrative game, and devs, Stopper Games, are big fans of the channel, so they teamed up with us to promote their new 2.0 overall updates, so they are sponsoring this specific episode. The first person to email me the correct answer to the question, what is Anton Rain's political party, gets a free Steam copy of Suzerain, and I have a second question coming in 15 minutes. Now, on to the crew segment. I have a bit of graphics prepared. So first I wanted to talk for the people who are not here right now. Emily Serdal is not able to join us, and she's working on Sojourn, she mentioned. Sojourn being an excellent audio drama series by Space Doc YouTube channel. I think new season coming into Kickstarter, having been getting set up for release. Then we have Patrick Warner, who is the narrator of the Kaiser documentary. He is working on, he is an actor in Masters of the Air, the Apple Plus TV series, which is either releasing now or releasing in 1 month. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't have time to check before the live stream. It's been a very, very busy day. But Masters of the Air featuring Patrick Warner, streaming on Apple TV or Apple TV Plus. I don't have it myself. I'm not sure what that means. I assume it's their, like, the Apple's native desktop streaming service. You know it, William? I hear you laugh.
Yeah. It's just it's kind of like Amazon Prime's video streaming service, but for Apple. Yep, same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So streaming on Apple TV. Then I wanted to turn it over to Ilana White, who is joining us. So let me pin you, Ilana. Ilana, you have a bunch of things that you are working on. So I see here we have Ghost Town and we have Destiny's Divide. Just take it away. Let me know what you would like to talk about.
Yeah, so I guess first and foremost, I am waiting on the release of a basically Hearthstone-style card video game called Destiny's Divide that I get to voice 3-ish characters, if I remember correctly, on. This is really exciting. Got to kind of do a bunch of crazy shit in that one. And then I'm also waiting the release of an audio play called Ghost Town, which is being produced by a production company called Pinball Productions, which I've worked for in the past. And then otherwise, I'm doing a lot of comedy writing. I write for a few satire publications, particularly Hard Times and Hard Drive, which are music and video games.
Okay. Do you have any links that I can put in the live chat for that comedy writing as well as the 2 voice acting projects?
Yeah, let me find one.
So I'm gonna put those graphics on screen that I have. So we have Destiny Divide, which is a card battling game you mentioned, Ilana. Available now on Steam, or is that App Store?
Yeah, that's on Steam. But I'm not 100% sure what the release on is going to be.
Got it.
That's on Steam, and they have a Steam page and pre-order page. Gotcha. And I sent you the link to my author page for Hard.
Yes. So we have Destiny's Divine and we have Ghost Town. Can you repeat Ghost Town? Just real quick.
Oh yeah, so Ghost Town is an audio play that's upcoming by a production company called Pinball Productions. They have another audio play that I played the lead in called The Greater Good, which is on Spotify. Ghost Town should also be available on Spotify. And I think anywhere that you can get podcasts.
Got it.
But I listen to Spotify.
All right. We also have William with us, who plays Peterson in the... I'm getting some feedback from someone on Zoom, so make sure to mute yourself if you're not actively speaking, so we don't have too much of that feedback. William, you mentioned you're doing audiobooks project. I have a graphic here, which is for Untamed, the Were Pets saga. Is that correct?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, beginning of this year, released the book called Tamed by Douglas Brown, both on Audible and Amazon. Basically a werewolf story about werewolves being pets, not so much the danger they always are until later on in the book that happens.
Okay.
But it's a really interesting take on the werewolf genre, very point of view of the werewolf, from everything from what they're going through as beings who've become werewolves to, you know, the actual change process, which you usually just see from the outside, so to speak, but you actually experience it from their point of view. And the continuation of that, the part 2 of that book, is coming out in November. I'll be finishing up that audiobook then. And I'm also coming to be a featured narrator on an app called Pocket FM as well.
Okay, so this is the second part in what is going to be a trilogy by Douglas R. Brown that you're narrating?
I don't know if it'll be a trilogy. Right now, he's really happy with the second book, and he's done a lot of great sales with the first one. So, if the people want it, it'll probably come out.
Yeah. Okay, very interesting. So thanks for that, William. Anything else that you're working on that you'd like to promote while we do this segment?
Just work that I've done with a podcast that's out there on YouTube called Weeping Cedars.
Oh, right, you mentioned Weeping Cedars to me. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, basically it's a serial, like a serial horror story, basically.
Yeah, okay, so we have Weeping Cedars. I'll put a few of those links in the description to this YouTube video once I get wrapping up. All right, we also have John Cava with us, who plays the broker. John, you're a new arrival to our acting crew. Is there anything you wanted to promote during this live stream segment?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yes, there's a animated show coming out at the end of August called The Moons of Chelaros 54321. And it's the way that it was described to the cast was a mixture of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And I've read the entire script. It's a phenomenal show. It's going to be amazing when it comes out. I don't have any promotional things to share, unfortunately.
It's pre-production, yeah.
Yes, but just keep your eyes open. Should be last week this month. And then in October 25th, there will be a horror audio drama coming out called The Love Talker. And I play a character by the name of Tyler. And it's about the Appalachian Mountains, and there's this creature that's stalking the towns within the Appalachian Mountains.
Mhm.
And it's all about the relationship between the creature and the main character of the show. And that's pretty much all I've got for now. So yeah, keep
Alright.
your eyes and ears open.
Nice. So special thanks to John Cava. Welcome to the Divided States project as well, and thank you for your performance in episode 2. It was really wonderful working with you. Finding you to play the broker, and we'll be seeing more of you. Unfortunately not in episode 3 or 4, because the broker is sort of we had a foreshadowing here of this character, but we only then see him a lot in later episodes, so it's gonna be a while. I'll see if there's
Excited
any
to
other...
be here.
Yeah, I'll see if there's any other roles you can do in the meantime, because we always have secondary smaller roles for example, Emily said always playing a bunch. So we have also Brian Jeffords. Brian, are you in the stream, or were you? Because he said he was away on family affairs. He wasn't sure if he could make it. Okay, I'm not hearing Brian, so I'm assuming he is not present. So special thanks to Brian. He had a project he was working on, but he couldn't talk about it yet. So I'm just gonna say that Brian Jeffords, who I put on screen here, he plays Point Man in this episode. He also plays 2 or 3 other roles. Wonderful range on him. Wonderful actor. So he plays 5 characters in this episode. You may not even know because his range is so good, and he plays basically in the opening scene, Battle for Workers Apart. He plays 3 characters who are talking to each other. And it fools people, like they think it's 3 different people. It's really, really good to have someone like Brian on our team. So that is going to bring us into the live Q&A segment. Now, if you'll excuse me for 5 seconds, I am going to grab a chair. I have terrible low back problems, unfortunately, especially the last few months have been very difficult. So I'm going to sit down for a minute. Especially the last few months have been extremely difficult for me because I broke my back in 2016. One of those injuries that make you really old really fast, unfortunately. Alright, so I prepared a bunch of things for us answering questions on this segment of the live stream. It's going to be a hangout and talking about what we have for this particular episode. So first off, I have questions for Ilana, and those are about Emily, Ilana. So what can you tell us about Emily, and how do you end up playing a lead in this show, basically?
Yeah, so as I think many of us were doing, I was, reevaluating my life in the beginning of the pandemic. I was feeling very woe-begotten about my career. And so I decided to build a voiceover booth in my apartment, like really, really scrappy, skin of my teeth. And then I just started auditioning for voiceovers. Because I was mainly a film and TV actor before that, and I was super passionate about voiceover, and I was like, okay, I think this is like the time that I can focus on this. So I auditioned for this project. I'm assuming probably at the beginning I auditioned for Emily. However, I did not get cast as Emily at first. I believe, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vincent, I got cast as Emily's sister, as well as I believe.
That's correct. I remember.
Yeah, right. I was thinking about answering this question on my way to do the live stream. And I was like, I think it was the sister, as well as maybe like 1 or 2 other kind of secondary characters. And then the person who was supposed to play Emily couldn't do it. And so I got an email from Vincent and the team like, hey, can you re-audition for this? And I was like, hell yeah. And I re-auditioned, and then now I'm here.
Right. So the way that worked, Ilana, is the original actress for Emily, William, I'm getting feedback from you.
Was that me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can you lower your voice? No, I'm still getting feedback. Oh, no, it's gone. I think that worked, William. Thanks. Or I'm still getting a little from someone. The original actress for Emily was essentially the narrator for Emily. So this is a character that's been going on with the channel for various other videos as well. But she bowed out of the project because she started a big different career path essentially. And then, you know, Ilana was a second for Emily, and that's when I emailed Ilana to ask her to come in and play Emily for us. Very happy. Now the original voice actress for Emily will come back and play Isabel, Emily's sister. I'm still getting... Douglas, I think it's you, man. I'm gonna try muting you.
My computer says it's a lot.
Someone is... just give me a second. Let's see if that cuts my testing. Yeah, Douglas, it's coming from you.
Okay, I'll shut it off then.
Can you mute yourself if you're not speaking? Because the feedback is pretty harsh. I think it's gonna mess with the stream right now. So yeah, and you came in as second for Emily. Now, Ilana got some questions from the YouTube livestream audience as well. Someone asks, Epsilon AD asks, you know, what do you do to prepare for the really emotional Emily scenes? I think we're talking about the Faulkner Mansion burning scene, which is very iconic in this particular episode. You're
Yeah, I was muted because of the feedback. I think one of the most important things for me is going back through the renderings of the scenes and the screenshots and the art pieces that you have given us. We were really lucky when we were recording stuff because I feel like it was very rich in visuals. You kind of set us up in a really lovely way, and especially with like the re-records and the pickups and those sessions too. It's like the way that Vincent has kind of cobbled this together for us is he will give us a YouTube video of those scenes and then tell us what he needs pickups for. So we're kind of watching it as we go and we're experiencing it as, you know, you would experience the scene in real time. And I think that feels very lucky with this project because you don't always get the privilege of like seeing a lot of renderings beforehand and really being able to like get pulled into that world. So I think that's been really important for my preparation, especially with the mansion scene and just like how visceral and how cathartic that, you know, scene is and the circumstances and the imagery of that burning mansion is very important, I think, to the process.
Yeah, I think the Emily Faulkner scene, I think I know what the problem is. Just a second, I'm still getting feedback, but I think I'm giving myself feedback. I'm not sure from where. Give me a second while I figure this out.
Yeah, it does seem to be following you.
Yeah, it's following me. What is my settings? Should I go to push to talk? Let me try push to talk. Test. I changed a few settings. Testing. It's always with the tech problems during these live streams. It's been a recurring theme. You know, we've also switched software several times. I think I fixed it. At least I'm not hearing it anymore. I think somehow my mic was giving me my own feedback, so it's not coming from you guys. So yeah, Ilana, getting a lot of love from the live stream audience here for that particular scene. I think it was a very powerful, emotional scene that really carries the mid of this episode. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I would like to pass it to William. You are here because you play Peterson. You don't have much presence in this episode. Your presence will be in episode 3, where we see basically the bombing of the Board of Trade, but from the perspective of Peterson and Michael. So I had some questions gathered for Peterson. What can you tell us about Peterson as, you know, the first villain, the first enemy of this show? Will we be seeing more of this enigmatic villain, is what I have noted here.
I think I really appreciate playing Peterson. I always like playing characters that, while they may appear devilish, evil, sadistic on the outside, there always seems to be a driving force. And I think as we move into episode 3, we're going to start to see some of the specifics behind his driving force as to why he's doing what he is, where his allegiances lie, and what personal issues in his life might be driving his choices. I think in the end, he's definitely an old world character who really believes in doing the right thing, but he's been thrown into this situation where the right thing can, sometimes be not very tasteful, not very, not very kind. It's just it can be perceived as evil as opposed to a means to an end.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be seeing more of you, William, especially in episode 3, and I think the first meeting sit-down we'll have in 2024 is going to be the table reads for episode 3 and episode 4. As we did with last episode, we try and do the basic voice recording for 2 episodes at a time, because then it's it rounds off to like 1 working day, more nicely rounded 8 hours recording. We'll be seeing the battle for the Workers' Mart again. This time we'll be seeing it from the perspective of Michael and Peterson, so we get a little bit more background on those characters and what actually is going on. There's a few questions I have in the live chat about, how do they escape? Where does the car come from? Why doesn't Albert shoot Emily? And those are things that we do return on in episode 3. So especially, a lot of that is going to be explained with the perspective of Peterson and Michael. So you're going to have a little bit of patience for that.
That was actually questions that I had.
So yeah, Peterson is actually there to give that perspective. But the basic premise of that, I can say that already, is that of course there's an element to that the sort of the organized anarchist revolution was it was a setup by other factions and other powers, and that will be revealed in the next episode, episode 3. Where we get that, explained by Peterson, and so there's a whole lot of, what's the word, Game of Thrones behind the scenes, political things going on in episode 2 that we do explore more in that further episode. Also, I think, William, I'm going to ask you to narrate a writer's contest for us, which we will do in the beginning of 2024, considering you have that audiobook recording experience.
Sure.
One thing that I can announce it here during this live stream is that we will probably do a Divided States writers contest either at the end of this year, towards the winter, or at the beginning of next year, where I will invite basically the community to write their own Divided States short story, 1 or 2 pages, and we'll narrate it as a short. The winners will get like a big box of merchandise, gift cards, as well as to have their story fully recorded and produced on Kaiser Cinema as a narrated short story, essentially. We're experimenting a little bit more with, so this is the animatic format where we have a lot of frames. Definitely into next year I want to experiment more with light novel, which means 1 to 5 illustrations. You know this, William, we've done this, we've called this an audio drama before with Nights in Shanghai, both episode 1 and episode 2. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about Nights in Shanghai, because you also play a character there.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I don't remember what I know you play a detective, but it's been a year.
I played a.
I'm gonna pull up the script. We'll figure this out.
It's such an interesting kind of character out of time. It's definitely something that you would have seen, on the mean streets of Chicago in the 40s, or even New York, kind of transplanted to Shanghai. A lot of really interesting characters in that group. Some very similar to Divided States. There's alliances. There's I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have I pulled up the script because I don't remember. Your character was Inspector Hong, and your first line is, "It's late, miss, and I'm not in the mood for an infidelity case. You want an inspector, you go to the front desk." And then we have that wonderful dialogue between you and Emily Sertal, who plays Louise Lacroix in both World of Kaiser, Commune of France, and then her character returns in Nights in Shanghai. So this actually ties into a question that some people had so there's a new Divided States universe. How does that tie into Nights in Shanghai? NAS is going to remain as a Kaiserreich show because that is a pre-1936, so it doesn't interfere with the Kaiserreich IP canon. So we'll be seeing a link between World of Kaiserreich and Nights in Shanghai and some of the Kaiserreich documentary stuff. those will be more loose, and that's where we're staying inside of the larger lore documents set out by the Kaiser Reich developers. For the Divided States, of course, we're building our own universe. We're setting up our own canon, our own timeline. So we'll have 2 big shows. Essentially, we'll have at one end we'll have the Kaiser Reich documentary, World of Kaiser Reich, Nights in Shanghai, and then shorter audio dramas. On the other hand, we'll have the Divided States. We'll have shorter Divided States projects, and then we'll have a third part, which is original experimental projects, to which we only have like very, very rough mock-ups at this point, so it's not super relevant. So William, thanks for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you for the table read in 2024 as we dive into Peterson as well as a few other characters.
Cannot wait till episode 3. Thanks, Vincent.
So let me check my email first, because we do have that Suzerain livestream going on. So for those who were answering in the comments, you don't answer in the comments, you need to email me the correct answer. And the correct answer was sent to me at exactly 8 minutes past midnight by Evan Wessel. So congratulations, Evan. I'm going to email you after this. I'm just going to say currently in live stream, trying to multitask. Currently in live stream. Get back to you in 60 minutes. Email away, problem solved. The second Suzerain giveaway live stream question, for which I will unceremoniously glance towards my phone right now, folks. I'm giving away a second copy of Suzerain on Steam, which is again on sale right now for $5. So folks, this is a like 4,700 Steam reviews, 9-star rating. Just go check out the Steam page. Like, I shouldn't need to sell this game to you. It's amazing. It's excellent. I've played it for so much. Everyone in the team has, so I'm very happy to actually be able to work with Torpor Games, especially if what we like to do is we like to sponsor things that are very much within our ballpark of what we like to do with Guys Get Cinema. The second question for the Suzerain giveaway. What are the 2 main superpowers in the Suzerain universe? Second question. What are the 2 main superpowers in the Suzerain universe? The first viewer to answer me correctly, you need to email me on my Kaiser Get Cinema email, so an answer in the comment section doesn't work. You can find that information on kaisergetcinema.com, and then there's a button that says contact inquiry, which has my email listed and all that good stuff. So I'll be answering some questions about the Divided States universe now, as well as the entire acting crew is here if you have any additional questions about the acting in this particular episode. But Ilana, I think we won't be seeing a lot of Emily in episode 3 because we're shifting that perspective. I think it's you, Alana. Now that you unmuted yourself, I can hear the audio glitching again. It's I think it's your speaker that's giving a bit of the feedback.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm unmuted, but I didn't hear what I heard my name a lot, but I didn't hear Sorry.
So we'll be seeing slightly less of Emily in episode 3 because we're shifting that perspective of those same events towards. So we start with Langdon in the Lincoln Memorial, who is played by Corey Landis of That 70s Show fame. Corey will probably join us for the episode 3 table reads, as well as Emily Serdal, who also plays a character in that arc. Then we'll have William. We'll have Albert Buscio, I think, who plays Michael. It's been a while since we've sat together, and that's the problem with having these very long episode production times. And then the last third of the episode is going to be Emily and Albert arriving in St. Louis. So table read will be only a small part for you, and then episode 4 and onwards we'll be switching the focus back to Emily and the main A-plot, essentially. For those of you who have questions, please put them on the YouTube live chat. YouTube live chat, that's where I'll be looking. In about 25 minutes, we are premiering the episode Divided States episode 2 to the wider audience. Once that starts, I will start a basically director's commentary. I'm just going to view the episode with you guys, screen it, and just talk generally about, the production of this episode, how things went, what scenes were maybe deleted, and show you some extra additional graphics. I want to thank our voice actors for being here for this hangout. If you have any more questions for them, please ask them on the YouTube live chat. In the meantime, I will pull up some of my live stream things that I have prepared. So, some people wanted me to talk about this graphic in particular because it appears in the new universe video, which is basically a general idea of the plans and IPs that we're working on with Kaiser Cat Cinema. So this goes back into what I mentioned earlier. The Kaiser Reich branded shows will continue. So we have Kaiser documentary. The next show in that series is Kaiser Reich Documentary 7, which will focus on the Ottoman Empire, Bulgaria, and the Middle East. Unfortunately, David, the editor, could not join us today. His first plan was to join us, but something came up. Obviously, Friday night, people have family and other things they may need to attend to. But he was going to talk about the script editing for Kaiser Reich Documentary 7. It is possible we will do a smaller live stream later this year as we get closer to the release of that episode. Again, we're looking at another full-hour documentary series narrated by Patrick Warner. We're looking into doing a little bit of animatic at the beginning. We have this cool idea of having the episode open with basically a bunch of diplomats in the Middle East discussing how they're going to, pull a big, a big reversal of Ottoman Empire influence in the Middle East. So John asks about this episode. When a guy said double-headed eagle, he asks, is that the Austrian Empire? And that is correct, John. The German Empire, Imperial Eagle, has only one head, but the Austrian, so the House of Vienna, essentially has two heads. And that is important. It is also, we show it several times during the episode, that the passports have a double-headed eagle on them. The main color of the German Empire in the divided states is yellow. I'm not going to explain more about that, but if you know about history, and that's sort of the thing we do in the divided states, you'll probably know where we're going with this already. For those who don't, it will be explicitly explained at some point in the story, just not right now. So Zach asked what happens with the Lieutenant of Louis and Rangers in the first scene of the first episode. So Sawyer and Logan, we're going to return to them as well as in episode 3, because as I mentioned, episode 2 is going to be all about the A plot, so we had a lot of Emily and Albert. Episode 3 is then the B plot, is where we have Sawyer and Peterson and Michael. They're basically the people opposing them in this journey to bring the atomic bomb plans to the west, to Sacramento. John gets it, I gave him a little, he gets it, double-headed eagle, German, Austrian, Emperor in Vienna, so he's very happy. Homero Garza Jr. is in the live stream, so welcome Homero. He's an old regular of Kaiser Cat Cinema shows. I'm always very happy to see that Homero is here for the single release that we've ever done. Dorpy Aaron asks, do you think Sarah and Michael were working with the Anarchists? I need to ponder on that question. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about that. We'll delve into that in episode 3. John also asks, has episode 3 been shot already? So what we have on episode 3 is what you see at the end of the show. We don't have a lot, so we have a very, very rough script. We have the first scene made, and actually if I pull up bridge, I'll be able to show you. Give me a second, people are DMing me on Discord. So we have the Lincoln Memorial scene, and I I was wondering what the software is. This is Adobe Bridge. It's basically made to check photos, if you do big photo shoots, but it's very handy for if you have a large volume of photos that you need to get across. So here you see very rough ideas, sketches, mood boards for the Lincoln Memorial scene where episode 3 starts. So this is really how an episode starts. I wouldn't even call this sketches, because often, what you're seeing right here on my screen, for example, is just straight out of Blender. It's like a straight Blender render, and the trees are just little orbs, because I don't have trees yet. Here's a little more rendered piece. Then we have this one, which is actually in the show. This one is a little more rendered, because every now and then I pick a frame to do with patrons. And then here we had a bunch of patrons do cameo appearances. We also have acknowledgements and thank yous of all the patrons appearing in this show at the end of this episode. I don't show it on live streams because I got away from it, but you will see it in the main premiere, which is happening in about 20 minutes. So we have the first appearance of Howard Langdon in this episode. Howard Langdon, of course, being our Huey Long character. Here's just a picture of a guy, and I thought that was a really cool angle and may want to return to it. Here's some more like very rough 3D models. This is generally how I start. This allows me to put down a scene, get an idea. So, for example, I know, okay, I like this shot over the shoulder, Howard Langdon. Maybe we want to cut to this when the secretary arrives. So here's a few of the frames that I painted out specifically for the outro of episode 2, where we have a preview of episode 3 as we usually do. So if you watch all the credits all the way to the end, that's where you get to see a small little preview of the episode. Didn't use this frame, didn't like it. It's a 3D model. This is a slightly older frame, which I will rework. It is in this episode. Not a big fan. It's not like the portrait of Howard isn't super clean here. But you get an idea of sort of how we build these things up. We layer them up with rough scenes. This is generally what the voice actors will see as well. Once we get in episode rough, like very rough 3D blockouts, I may have already put some music down or voiced some things, and that's what Alana was talking about earlier, where we send this to the actors and like, here's an idea of what the mood of that scene is. Here's a script, and then do a table read. Let's go in and see if we can get the mood down for this episode. We prefer doing a table read first when we have these very rough scenes. Then we do a synchronous recording when possible if it's a heavy dialogue scene. And we also do asynchronous recording, which means people send in their lines separately. We've done a lot of that for the last part of The Divided States episode 2, just because Brendan McGrady, who plays Albert, is on theater tour right now. I will have some more to share about that. But he was not available for synchronous recording, so we had to play a little fast and loose on that. We have Corey Landis and Emily Sedal playing this scene, which you will see at the live stream. Check my questions. Yeah, Loki asks about the diesel punk. So I'm just gonna go off on tangents here, guys. This is just a general Q&A chat. I don't always go with a lot of structure. So the diesel punk project, yes. Let me open that. So there's a third line here. The third line being Kaiser Cat Cinema Originals. This is just like a very fake title for that, but it means stuff that is not the Divided States, stuff that is new, and also generally more like original ideas for individual videos. I think Loki asks, is it going to be a short story or a documentary or a world of style video? The answer is I'm not sure. We're playing with that format, so. The idea that we have for Kaiser Cat Cinema, we give these things meaning, right? We have world of. When we say world of, people know what to expect because we've built that series up. When we say Kaiser documentary, there is also a certain expectation that when we say animatic, there is the Divided States. They have the black and white frames, and it's like an audio comic book. It is possible to do something that mixes and blends all these three. What I'm thinking right now is that the shorts will probably be like visual novels, as I mentioned to William just earlier, where I want to focus a little bit more on audiobooks and visual novels, because the biggest problem that we have with The Divided States is getting the correct amount of frames made, right? So because we have so much work in illustration, I do it all myself, so it's a one-man project. Divided States episode 2 took me about 1,000 man-hours to create all the illustration. The problem we're trying to solve is to get a little more story out there with a little less illustration work. So especially for the Dieselpunk project, we're looking at a short story with about 5 or 6 illustrations. And we'll see how that does, and if that's popular, we may get a little bit further in that. We also have Acheron, which is a 70s, it's not really 70s, but it's like a USSR into space kind of thing, alt history, Cold War in space. Variation on that sort of plot idea. This is I don't want to call it a sketch because it's too lazy to be a sketch. It's more like a mock-up of photos. So these are like standard renders of 3D military guys. And I had this idea of doing like a very cool hallway breach scene for Acheron. I have a comic for that as well, but it's not going to be able to find it, I think. Let me just slam my... It's a very, very old No, this is gonna be my archives. I don't have it. Then we have the Dieselpunk project, of course, which is inspired, which is the idea of doing something with miniatures. So I have this 3D model made. As you guys know, I'm big into 3D modeling with Blender. It's a software that I do thoroughly enjoy. And we're trying to do a little bit more with that. The Dieselpunk project, we're going to start with short stories. We're not going to do too much with it. We just want to experiment with the format. One thing we also want to do, of course, is crossing over with other mods. I'm thinking of, so I've had conversations with the Divergences of Darkness mod, which I think is an excellent mod for Victoria. And wonderful people, and we definitely want to do something together. We're very engaged with making loading screens for Kaiser, because we're sort of ramping up and trying to keep production up on the art book project as well. But when we get the availability later in this year, we're gonna take a look at that. For those of you looking at on screen, that is an exosuit for this Dieselpunk universe. For the rest, I have a lot of very loose sketches for this universe. Again, these are our more out there ideas, and we explore them a little bit more. Let me see what I got. Okay, we have another winner for the Suzerain Steam giveaway. Special thanks, so congratulations, John, not real name, you got it correct. Those are the 2 superpowers for Suzerain, so you are also receiving a, let me just answer. You won. Let me get back to you after the stream. So congratulations, John, on winning our Suzerain giveaway. So that's my 2 Steam keys who are now gone. I want to thank everyone for participating. I'm gonna take a minute to just go to the Suzerain Steam page, which is currently 70% off. So Suzerain is our sponsor for this episode. It's a very good game. So this is basically what you do in Suzerain. So you play as Anton Rain, which is the guy in the bottom left. And it's not like Hearts of Iron, so don't be fooled by the idea that you're seeing this map. It's a lot more subtle than that. In Suzerain, you play as the president of a democratic country, so you can navigate towards, like, you know, if you want to navigate towards authoritarianism or reactionary or communist, you can do these things, but it takes like Game of Thrones stuff, you know. For example, a big mistake players make is they sort of assume that they can just, you know, move aside their Supreme Court because the Supreme Court is blocking it. Or they sort of move aside, which is what I did. It's a very common thing. You just ignore the capitalists. You don't really, you know, spend time with the rich people, and then they have you assassinate and your game is over. So that's sort of, it can go very, very wrong very fast, and then you'll have to reload games. Make sure to get plenty of save games when you're doing this.
Today, Anton Rain has been elected president.
This trailer play out.
The people have spoken.
So they've now released their 2.0 update.
Our country
this is from developers, and it's basically a massive gameplay overhaul, new content, all that stuff, and that's why they're doing this promotion. Let me share that link.
Today, we embark on a new era for the country. A time of hope and change. But make no mistake, change does not come easy.
So this sale will last until I think Sunday, like midnight, but I'm not sure if it's midnight CET because we're European companies, or if it's midnight EST. Yes.
Reform our broken constitution.
The new trailer is really cool. It's this is the second version of their trailer. So you see all these characters, and it's important. It's important when you play this game is that you remember who these people are. And there's like a wiki in games, you can have that, but you cannot ignore the wants of characters.
To address the nation.
It's very important that you do that. And they're doing a DLC. DLC is called Kingdom of Ritzia, so it's a new campaign in the Suzerain world, and you play, I assume, what is going to be a constitutional republic, monarchy. Which I think will be very interesting. Now I've grown fond of Swordland because so for those of you who don't know, The reference they're going for with Sortland is that you are essentially Turkey or the Republic of Turkey, and your character is sort of inspired by Atatürk. And that if you sort of start interpreting the world from that perspective, so that that gateway between East and West, then it makes a lot of sense, because then you sort of start getting, it's not exact, but you have like a big autocratic neighbor to the north with, you know, Rumburg. And then you have these superpowers that you need to juggle and balance between each other. Someone mentioned there is a demo. It's possible. So right now it's 443 euros on Steam. That's going to be $5, I think. So again, complete no-brainer. Wonderful game, and I want to thank the developers of Suzerain for supporting us. Let me bring us to YouTube Studio. We are almost ready to release the public version of the Divided States episode 2. So I'm going to bring us into that live stream as well. Here we go, scheduled in 10 minutes. Perfect, looks like my timing is working. Premieres in 9 minutes. Everyone. Me and the crew are on a live stream right now. We will be doing a director's of this episode. Share this. John, I would love to hear your questions for the actors. They're still on the Zoom call, so feel free to pass them on. We still have about 8 minutes before we go into the director's commentary segment.
They'd never take me like that. I'd fight like hell.
Get to the tyrant prowler!
So going into the last minutes of this segment of the live stream. What do I have here? Finally we have American Kings, and this is a very loose idea that I had of doing like a combination between a shonen and a low fantasy American medieval setting. I think it's very interesting. You see some of that in the after the end mod for Crusader Kings 2, but they do it post-apocalyptic, and I think what's even more interesting is to say like it's not the collapse of the United States, it's actually the United States has always been medieval, and then we do this like low fantasy or medium fantasy setting with a lot of realism, but we have like we take American history and we sort of, you know, mythologize it into this medieval European pattern where it's like an epic tale being told, and we take all those elements, we put them in something like an illustrated short story. That is the American Kings. I have only rough script notes, as well as a mood board. I can actually show you some of the inspirations that I have. What do I have for American Kings? It's called American Kingdoms now. Inspiration. Wonderful Environments by Andreas Roja. The problem is we tend to do black and white, and for a show like this I really would like to be colorful. You know, I think it would be interesting to have a colorful show. The big problem, of course, with being colorful is that it requires more work. So I'm not sure if we're going to put a lot of illustration into the show, or we're going to focus more on the narrative aspect of it. Some questions. Flora asks whether Austria united Germany in this timeline. So yes, that is what is implied in the Graveyard of Empire scene. That's why we see that color yellow prominently. But that will be explored in future episodes as well. So that is going to be very important. It's, of course, the Divided States is a new universe. Germany has a different flag. Germany is a much different country. Also, it's a much more powerful country. We're looking at Germany really the way that other nations in our timeline, let's say 1950s, look at the United States as this sort of hegemon of technological and military power. So we're really leaning a little more into not Germany being a collapsing empire as what is Kaiser Reichsteam, but more as in Germany and its relationship to the world as a very powerful and rising force that needs to be buffered with like an international alliance. I see William, you're answering on the live stream as well. Thanks for that. You can answer directly. John asks how much of the 1940s accents we approached, or is it not necessary? We don't have very specific, or at least I don't have enough knowledge as a stage director to like very closely direct something like that. It's probably something we'll do more of in future episodes, but first, my first order of business is always, you know, are we getting the emotional notes right of the scene? If the accent like doesn't 100% match up, I'm comfortable with that. You know, what we've done, for example, in this episode in the Graveyard of Empire scene, is that originally Brendan was going to play Albert as a South African character, but he wasn't comfortable with the accent. It wasn't sounding right. So then I just said, you know, Brendan, let's drop the accent. Let's just focus on, you know, just doing a normal voice. And get the emotion of the scene. The accent, maybe we'll look into it later. It's not that important for this scene right now. So it gets to a level of, you know, how much specificity do you want in an episode, and how much time can you spend, how much time and budget can you spend on getting one specific accent right. And that's always going to be a balancing act, especially if you have like a small show like The Divided States with one illustrator and only a handful of voice actors. We're trying to get the most out of a reasonable amount of time that we want to spend on a particular episode. So John loved Ilana White's performance. Lots of love for Faulkner Mansion burning again. I think it's a very powerful scene. I think it's a scene that really carries an episode, and I hope to see more of that from everyone in our cast, really, because we have very strong emotional beats for every character at every junction in the show. The live stream. The director's reading will start in 3 minutes. That's also going to be the end of our Zoom call, guys, because Zoom kicks us out in exactly 4 minutes. So do you have anything you would like to say to the community before 7 minutes, it says? If you'd like to share anything to the community before we sign off for today, please let me know. And if anyone on YouTube live chat has questions, please ask them now. Let me read that. I see you guys are actually answering on YouTube community itself, so that's actually a lot easier because you're able to answer them directly. So I want to we are moving to director's commentary in about 3 minutes. So, William, Ilana, Douglas, Duncan, John, thanks for joining me today. You're all muted, by the way. I can't hear you. I see you waving.
Thank you. Everybody watching.
It's going to be here, even though I've been in and out for a couple of months because, you know, school and so it's kind of like...
Yeah. So, what we're doing now, this is going to be the end of the Zoom call. I'm going to end the room here because we only have an hour of this. And I will see you all. I will send an email, when I have the scripts ready, so you can read into episode 3 and 6 and all the big story beats. And then we'll probably do a table read for episode 3 and episode 4 together or separately. We'll have a Divided States writers contest, so expect to hear nothing from me for about a month or 2 or 3. And then I think the deluge of emails will return as we ramp up production for episode 3. Probably will be titled North as Traders, but I'm not sure. Maybe I've sort of already called it North as Traders on the website, but I'm not committed to that name. But I'll keep you all posted. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you, of course, for your wonderful work on the Divided States.
Vincent, thanks for the amazing content.
Yep. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to be on board.
We aim to please.
I was on board here as well. It's been good time.
Alright, I'm signing out of this and I'm going to put myself live on Discord again for a director's commentary. Thanks everyone, and until the next one. See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay, that was the Zoom segment, and then we have the live stream segment. 60 seconds. Perfect timing! Flawless! Flawless timing. Let me put the Discord up again. Okay. Yes, I'm back on Discord. Can everyone hear me on Discord?
Yeah, I'm back. I was just
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Alright, so this is the director's commentary, which is the last part of this live stream. I'm gonna put share out to everyone. 1 minute. Everyone. United States, episode 2. Now streaming on all platforms. Special thanks to everyone who participated. Ah, I hear the YouTube. Oh, that's a really cool countdown. I took contemporary for this one. Damn, this is cool. Groovy. Putting this on. Actually, I should probably mute this because it's going to interfere with my music. That's better because I already have music playing on the stream. Thanks to all our patrons. Patron Cats, Crew Cats, voice actor that made this show happen. Are you able to read the countdown? It's like, it's a very abstract number. Okay, 33 seconds? Or is it 98? This is a very confusing YouTube countdown thingy. Can find all this music. So Firehound asks, do we have a playlist for all the music we have in the lore videos? And you can find all of that in on the main channel because we have that separated out as different music uploads. Let me just finish this announcement. Boom. Publish.
Oh, I got it.
There we go. And then, oh, this is always my traditional end sort of wrap up for an episode is where I go to the Kaiser Cinema channel and I add it there to the Divided States. Boom. Gonna add a little British toast thingy to it. It has the British in it. There's some random emojis. Gotta have a tooth in there. There we go. Perfection. When is the... I have no idea what this countdown is. Do you guys understand like how many seconds are left? Does it say that anywhere? No.
12, I think.
But how do you know that? It's just showing a random symbol.
It is very weird.
Out I think it just goes just goes random and.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I don't think I'm gonna
20
pick...
I think it's 1:22 or something, like 1 minute 20 seconds.
Possible. Yeah. Okay, I think it's in the last 57. Okay, I get it.
I think it just plays random symbols for the like it just plays random stuff for like up to like 10 seconds or something.
Seems like an 80s
wrestling purist asked you.
Oh, God.
I agree. This was a terrible idea.
This countdown seems something like you see out of a MTV.
This reminds me from that Black Ops game. Where are the numbers, Mason?
What do they mean?
Where are? Yeah, I'm gonna put that.
Numbers, Mason.
Where's Resnov?
What do the numbers mean, Mason? Right,
here we go.
I'm getting memories from that game.
What do the numbers mean, Mason? I'm incredibly proud to introduce this episode's sponsor.
I feel like
Suzerain
we're
is a
just watching
stunning
this.
and
This
deep
is so
political
bizarre.
simulation game where you play as Anton Rain, president of the
Okay,
fictional country.
it's live. This is hurting my eyes
Set
now.
in a universe.
This is really hurting my eyes.
Oh god, this is just evil.
Oh, I love this. Actually, I should do something like that. Where are the numbers, Mason? What do they mean? No, so this is the start. Jokes aside, start of director's commentary. The Kingdom of Risia DLC. Check out the pinned link in the so we start, of course, with the Suzerain. There's not much to say about Suzerain that I haven't mentioned already. Of course, go buy Suzerain during the 2.0 sale.
Suzerain is a great game.
It is a great game. I'm very happy to have that sponsorship, and I hope to have more high-quality sponsorships like that. So, director's
I've been
commentary.
playing Baldur's Gate for some time.
Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate's free.
I hear it's good. But let me get on with the director's commentary because the episode is already playing. So we start with the supercut of episode 1 events, and we're gonna do this every episode just because I prefer not to do it. Just because, you know, the delay between episodes is so long, is that we need to, you know, have something that, like, so everyone remembers where the hell we were in the story, because for most of them it's going to be like a year and a half of waiting between episodes. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to solve that problem, you know, unless we can massively increase the Cat Cinema budget, which is pretty difficult at the moment. So it's me doing all the illustrations for time. Trying to do shorter episodes, so hopefully we get a little more episodes out in the same time span. 30 minutes, of course, should not be the norm. That was way too crazy. I don't want to do that again, honestly. 30 minutes was too crazy. So, these are the events of episode 1, where we have, of course, the Emily's father gets brought to the mart, and then she fights back, and then we're going to start back at the Battle of the Workers' Mart. All these background guys that you see in about 30 seconds are voiced by me. These are patrons, of course, the Sabu Guard. I think it's something that Luna came up with as we went in making this first episode. So William asks whether I'm gonna leave the background music running. This is just like a director's commentary because I'm gonna talk over it and I want to keep everything muted. Variety asks whether the Steam key has already happened. It has. I'm not able to tag him. So we have the attack on the Workers' Mart with a suicide anarchist car bomb truck. Very cool thing to do. the thing we want to do here, of course, is have the technicals in there. Little idea from Jordan. Sort of armored cars. These particular frames were done by Quentin Dognon, who did a little bit of the work on episode 1 for some of the frames. And this is where the episode actually starts. This is new scenes from this point onwards. This first scene is called the Battle of the Workers' Mart scene, and it's one of the more recent additions, because normally the project would start with Albert's breakout. I ended up adding this scene because I wanted to show a little bit more of the combat happening in the Workers' Mart before we get into the events of episode 2. Now, some people in screening said that the scene was too long. I still kept to it, I still developed it because I felt we just needed a little bit more to like lead in this episode. Every actor in this scene, with the exception of the driver, is played by Brian Jeffords, which I think is really cool. It shows the range of this actor because he does all these different scenes. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, I'm the guy that made it. Downtown's a mess. Japanese hold half the bridges in the city. A third of our guys are stuck at the outskirts. Anyway, brought something to me. No.
Of course, we get the whole betrayal. And then we go into intro, right? So this intro, the idea with it was to do like a newspaper style thing, you know, where we wanted to. And the logo of the Divided States has this as well. We do like censored newspapers or censored, what's the word I'm trying to look for? The word I'm looking for is negative photo frame, right? So we have the photo negative in a combination of archival photos when you go to a library and you flick through old files. That's what we're doing here. Here we get into the episode's proper scenes of Albert's breakout and our first introduction of Albert Brown Steiner to the Divided States. No, that's not a flashback. I'm just gonna let the scene play out for a bit.
Run for it. We planted cars in the downstairs garage. We'll get you out of the city and meet up with the cell north of here.
Oh, Daniels, we're cutting through the office. Make it happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear.
Everyone inside, hurry.
Thank you. You may have saved my life. Can you give me your sidearm in case we run into more resistance?
Sure. Make sure to turn the safety off. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this kind of...
Holy shit. Friedrich, what are you doing?
Escaping.
Third squad, is that you? What the hell happened here?
They got him. It's a trap. We have to double back through cell block B and get out with the extraction
So,
team.
Cell block B, got it. Let's go.
We see a little bit of Albert's dark side, so he basically shoots these people that he's trying to get away from. The group that's breaking him out. One of the questions we do get is why does he shoot these people and he doesn't shoot Emily, for example? And that's actually, the explanation of that is that he understands that Emily is not a part of either faction, so he probably thinks Emily is useful to him. As well as he has very specific reason to get away from that group in particular, and we do explore that a little bit more in episode 3, those people that break him out. We also notice that they seem to be very well organized for, you know, what's supposed to be like a spontaneous counter-revolution thing. So here we have the fight scene with Emily and 2 guards, both of which are crewmen. So I play the first guy who just got thrown out of the window, and then we have Marcus, who does this guy who is about to also meet a very gruesome death. Goes to the floor. Of course, they see the gun, they go for the gun. Jump for the gun. This is classic stuff, right? You know, they go for the gun's empty, so the knife comes out. The idea was to have like something very melee, very brutal, very low tech, and then we can sort of move into firefights later on. Emily grabs the knife. Marcus Crewman is retiring from the Divided States, and there he goes. Originally, these were going to be the first 2 deaths in the Divided States, but then we added that Battle for Workers' Mart scene to sort of the villain. So here we have the garage scene, and this is of course a classic standoff between the two. We have a comic snack here. I do a bit of a
Your
joke.
weapon, and I will
I'd be
consider
interesting to see what
letting
you
you
think
live.
of that, because
Use
there's a lot of
your
debate
head, girl.
about how much humor
I
should be in the
wanted you
Divided
dead,
States.
you
I
would be
like
dead
black humor
already.
to
You
sort
are
of
not
break
taking
it up.
me alive, you asinine bureau tool.
What? No, you're not taking me alive, you revolutionary scum!
Revolutionary scum? Do I look like I want to be here?
You're wearing the goddamn uniform!
I'm sorry I didn't have time to change.
Why are we screaming?
I don't know.
It's clearly been a stressful day for the two of us.
Clearly. So what now? So are those guys coming for you? Or for me?
Doesn't matter. If they find us, they'll shoot us on sight. As long as the anarchists keep the guards occupied, we may have a chance to slip out of the city.
Looks like I lost my chat there, so I'm gonna...
Tap that wheel cap over there. You know the roads here, miss.
Emily Faulkner. And I do. And I also know what routes they won't be watching.
There we go.
Let's hope for our sakes that you are right.
So here we get into a different pace in the episode. You know, this is where we go and slow things down. For those of you who have already seen the episode, you know where we're going. This is what I love about the Divided States. Is the like the country guitar, the sort of the emotional moments, the car talking scenes.
Jesus, it's like
There's a bit of a road movie in this as well. You know, like Americana.
Friends do
55
this.
things. It's what I love to do.
No friends of mine. Anarcho-syndicalists. Anarchists. Radical anti-government types. They've been acting out ever since Crowder took power. They bombed the World Trade Building. I just never thought they would take it this far. You haven't told me your name.
I haven't. But it's Albert. Albert Brunsteiner.
You're German, right?
We see
What's
here
a
a
German
combination
doing in the
of
Revolutionary States?
animated frames and non-animated frames, and we still haven't figured out exactly how we want to do that. So right now we only use animations in some segments of stuff that we want to use in the trailer, and then we also use animations in certain parts where we want to talk about you know, the car overhead shots or really big establishing shots where I want to show some form of forward motion.
Does it have to do with that?
So there's a big scene coming up. I'm just gonna let that play because I think it deserves. This is what people talk about when they say, you know, Elana White's wonderful performance. I've got the music for a minute as we go into this.
The Kaiser research is quite advanced. I'm
I'm gonna remove the Suzerain overlay because it has.
Network is still around. I know someone's there who can get me out on a plane and out of the country. First, I need to get as far from the revolutionary states in British Canada as I can. Neither seem to like Germans very much.
You're headed south? You do know that's loyalist territory, right? It's crawling with Germans, too. You planning on giving the plans back?
Not Germany. Despite what my accent would suggest, I have no love for the Empire, Emily. I have other plans. But I will help you get to your family first. After that, I will be on my way. You have anyone else who can help you?
We'll figure something out. Honestly, Albert, you're the first person I met today who hasn't tried to kill me. Right now, I guess that is just going to have to do. Our family manor should be just up ahead. I can't believe they took my father. I need to get my sister and mother out and
particular
devise a
frame
plan.
that you just saw is
We
actually
could
something
go
we
to
pulled
Canada.
from the Chicago chase scene. I just took the car out of that one and changed the background to fit this particular scene. Because, you know, we reused that frame because, you know, we had made, you know, why not reuse it here? A lot of the other exterior car shots are mid-journey, like especially when it's like a very generic shot of a car moving through an environment. Then that's when we start employing AI generation to really help with, you know, don't really use it on characters that much because getting the expressions right is a lot harder. You need to really get in there and work on it.
Emily, don't! It's dangerous!
So I love this scene. I'm just gonna.
Isabel.
Emily, get away from the house!
Mom! Mom, I'm here! Isabel!
Emily!
The whole place is coming down! Where are you? Emily!
No! No, Mom! Mom, get out here! I'm home! I'm home, Isabel! I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything.
Emily! Jesus Christ!
Albert! Get off me! Get off me!
Emily, they're gone. It's over. They're gone, Emily. They're gone.
But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart.
Damn it! God damn it! Why?
Emily, I tried to warn you before. If the Red Guard did this, they wouldn't have stopped at your father. Your family would have been a target. It's what happened in Russia.
It's all my fault. I supported the revolution. I supported the purges. I just didn't. Stupid! I was such a stupid little brat.
We can't stay here, Emily. They may expect you to come looking for your family. Our car's probably been signaled by now.
I may have a solution to that. We're lucky they didn't burn this place down too. Not too bad, huh? My dad's Chevy Master. I'd say the old bastard took better care of his cars than he did his own daughters.
Alright, so
we'll do.
I'll let that play out because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's what I said here in the chat. Wonderful performance by Lana White, Brandon McGrady. And the scene really carries it. Emotional, very hard, very tough scene. And honestly, Alana did like 7 takes of this scene, and each of them was good. Like, I don't remember editing a lot of it.
Where do I go?
Romero says this should be an Oscar nomination. I'm gonna cap that and send that to Alana.
You should leave the country. Come south with me, Emily. We can figure things
Just,
out once we
shoot
get
her
away
an
from the
email.
Red States.
Thanks, Albert. But I'm not running.
She'll be very happy,
If you're going
actually.
south, the safest way is the 55, which passes by St. Louis. I have an aunt in the city. If you drop me off there, that's fine.
Can't stay, Emily. They would be after you.
Good. Let them come. This fight isn't over.
What do you mean?
My aunt is a part of the Social Democrat faction. If I know her, they're not gonna let the Jacobins take over this country. She will have a plan. She always has a plan.
Michael?
There we go.
Sarah,
Send that out to Alana. She'll be very happy.
They took everything from me. And I want to hurt them, Albert. I want to make them all pay. You say they're coming after me? Good. Let them come. I'll be waiting.
St. Louis it is.
Okay, so this is where we get back on track towards St. Louis.
Many refugees end up.
And
That works. Albert.
so this is something that we revisit in episode 3, and I'm currently concepting for St. Louis, and I'm not sure if I have stuff for that.
I endangered us.
I just call it TDS Destroy.
I knew
City
it was already
thing.
done. I just...
Emily.
I'm gonna
Said
open
it's
this.
fine.
I'm not sure what's
We should
in
get
it.
some rest. We have a long road
See a
ahead
lot of
of us.
Blender files.
Thanks for everything today.
And this is where we, in St. Louis, where we really get into cityscapes. We see refugees, we see a lot of like civilian life, which we haven't seen much of until this point. There's...
I guess it is.
This is a massive,
Still.
massive Photoshop file.
You're a good
What am I
man,
doing here?
Albert.
Got it. This is just mock-ups. It's not that
Yes.
special.
A good man.
Yeah, this is mock-ups and nothing. These are probably World War II miniature photos that I'm using. So here we have a Graveyard of Empire scene, very interesting. Originally the episode was gonna end here, but that would end it at 15 minutes, which is just a tad short of what I'm comfortable with. I do feel like, you know, when you come in for a Kaiser Cinema release, it needs to be meaty. So I ended up making this scene, and I ended up making the scene and then ended up making it way too long, and it ended up being a 10-minute scene. And that's why we have a 30-minute episode right now.
Inform the boss.
Herr Jutzgard, I just radioed the coast.
So here we have Brian Jeffords
you
again
after the
playing the captain, and then we have Jerry
sure
Schultz.
you didn't want guard, sir?
And this
We are
is in the
sailing
Scapa
straight
Flow, because some
into
people are
their
wondering
lair.
about that in
If
the
the
live
British
stream.
National Guard show up, we have no authority here.
I am a diplomatic envoy of the German Empire. The double-headed eagle does not cower before the pretensions of snakes.
These men are no more than common criminals. We should not be treating with them, Irvin, old friend. It is beneath us.
Even criminals have their uses, Captain. We are soldiers. We must be prepared to handle a little unsavory business. It is a small price to pay to secure the borders of the fatherland.
As you wish, Herr Jutzgard. The ship will be ready when you return.
Let me just rep Suzerain real quick in this live stream.
Leave the engine running. I do not intend to linger.
Jawohl, Herr Rutger, we were not expecting you this soon.
Does the broker have a good reason for dragging me out to this wasteland? Or does he simply enjoy the...
I'm gonna refresh this window real quick. So, one of the reasons we have this dramatic setting is, of course, we want to show a little bit more about the background of the United States and the interesting, you know,
An
universe
official
that
letter
goes on
from the
behind
governor of Rhodesia requesting the protection of German troops. The British have retreated from East Africa. The governor has seen the dangers of independence and seeks imperial governance. We held up our end of the bargain, Herr Jutzgard. Now you hold up yours.
Very well.
So again, here we have the double-headed eagle, which is a very intentional reference. It references the fact that Germany is an Austrian-led Germany, which is a very popular alt history concept. One of the things we'll be exploring more in the Divided
Nations
States.
collapse all the time, Herr Jutzgard. One would say information is a much better investment.
I find it interesting that you presume to lecture us on geopolitics, Herr Jutzgard.
So these are the kind of frames where Blender, like 3D software, really comes in handy. You know, you really can get a rough block out of a scene in and get that sort of worked up there.
Let this be the end of our business. I can't say it has been a pleasure.
Herr Jutzgard, the broker. He has a bit of a
We have a bit of
poetic
threats going back and
13th
forth.
Lancers operate half a dozen safe houses across the British Isles.
I love this kind of
This
stuff.
meeting could have taken place in any
The
one
long
of them.
shot of the ship.
Yet instead, he chose this
Have the close-up.
graveyard of empires. A more
And then we go for
imaginative
super
man
close.
may say there's a message in that.
You presume to threaten me, mercenary dogs?
Just making an observation, Herr Jutzgard.
I'm gonna
Let
work
me
on the
offer one of my
subtitling
own then. The
in the
colonial
weekend.
wars
It's
are ending.
auto-generated
A
and
new
it's
world
pretty good,
order
but it
is
misinterprets
rising.
words, I think.
You
Yeah,
will
can
find
really
there
see
are
that
few
here.
places in the world left for your 13th Lancers. Perhaps when we next meet, it shall not be so cordial.
You disapprove, brother. Speak your mind.
That man was a monster. We had him. Right here. We could have put a bullet in his head.
We could have, sure. And the Kaiser would have replaced this dancing puppet with another, and another, and another after that. Germany does not.
So
lack
here we have a little
ruthless
back and
men
forth
with
where we
ambition,
see
brother.
more about Albert's past and the
because we
relationships
cannot
that he
change
has
it
in
here
this
just to go
particular
along
part
with
of
it.
his life. 2
We
years
hired
before
killers from
coming.
German
So you can
psychopaths.
see he's a mercenary. This is
I've
what
not
we know
slept a
now.
day since
Also,
Rhodesia.
very intentionally, we do not
We will
reveal his
never
name
be
in the scene. You
forgiven for
notice
what
that
we
he's
did
referred to as brother. Nobody addresses him with his name.
We were following.
This is more of a stylistic choice. We want the moment where
Funny
Albert's
thing
true
is,
name is
the people
revealed
giving us
to be
orders
like
were
very
simply
dramatic.
taking orders themselves.
For those wondering what it is, we actually don't have that name yet. Like that's not written. In the script, he's just referred to as Albert.
Nobody is to blame.
I was thinking something like Jack. It looks like a
Theirs
Jack
is
to me,
proxy
but
war.
the name Albert Brandsteiner was picked by patrons, so it's highly
The great
likely.
will of empire grinds on, greased with blood and despair.
Sorry, highly likely that we will have the patrons just vote for his final name as well. But he is a South African mercenary to some
But the boss always has a plan.
very specific.
It's about time we tell you about.
Sorry, what was that?
There are some who call him Tim.
There are some. What was that thing
Boss.
The
always listen if we have
damn it, the
Holy
car show.
Grail.
No. The British car show, Top Gear. The Sturge or
The Stig.
the Stig. Yeah. Wait. Let me pull up some of the Stig quotes.
Suffer no crown. Those
Some
are
say
our
he never blinks and that he roams
Just
around the
want to
woods at
know
night,
what's
foraging for
the
wolves. All we know is he's called the Stig.
247 to my count.
Some say that he appears on high-value stamps in Sweden and that he can catch fish with his tongue. All we know is he's called the Stig. But yeah, I'm thinking Jack.
Nobody expects you to keep that promise, boss. We follow you because you are our leader. You give these men a home. The money is not important.
It was never about the money. It was about keeping a promise. I told you that we are making our guys whole. Every last one of them. Alive or dead.
It's not possible, boss.
So here we have the introduction of the broker played by John Cava, a very powerful enigmatic villain who we will see later in the Divided States.
Take a closer look at those papers, son.
So at this point, we're looking at a 30-minute episode. We're getting close to the end.
Do you remember what I told you when you were younger, boy?
You said there was a place in this world for a man with no name.
A man who's remembered by none, but remembers all. You were always too good for this work, son. You were always special. After everything
So we can see the very special relationship that all these characters have in this scene.
It's you.
This is how we're getting the missions, you know.
This is the last
Wherever he
job,
ends up,
son.
he does end up with
I
the atomic
know
bomb plans.
You will not fail us.
One last job.
One last job.
I'll do it.
Gather them in. It's time I address them.
I'm gonna let the scene play
And
out. This is very cool.
told you all, didn't I? What the world has taken from you, we will take back. German imperialists, French socialists, Russian communists, British fascists. They sell lies. They sell dreams. Only we have seen what is on the other end of their pretensions. Only the Lancers. They call us hired killers. Mindless simpletons, drooling thugs to be discarded for their imperial vanities. But brothers, my eyes are wide open. I know what they're building out there, in the vast deserts of Africa. I know it will change everything. I intend to find it. I intend to steal it. And I intend to sell it to the highest
So, hardcore outro there. This is how I like to end episodes, you know, with a little supercut. And that's it. That is the end of the episode.
implications of the algorithm.
So we have a little bit of the setup for episode 3 and further episodes. This is the end of the live stream as well, so do you have any specific questions that you'd like me to answer before I wrap up here, guys?
One question from me.
Sure.
I was curious, why did the broker use the term fascist?
So the reason he uses the term fascist is to make clear that this is no longer the Kaiserreich timeline, so that it's not the Union of Britain. Though I do prefer not using the term fascist in the show. So in the future we're probably going to refer to them as restorationist or reactionary, or you'll notice that, and this is something we share with Kaiserreich as well, I don't feel we need to use the term fascist or communist, because then the conversation becomes about the specifics of those ideologies. Really what we want to talk about is the 1940s and especially the Great War as a struggle between progressive and reactionary forces. And it's not necessarily about specifics of what fascism is, but you know, it is fascism. You know, Britain is a fascist country in this timeline. We just call it restorationism, or you know, the Kinsley government. Or here, I think it's clear that, you know, the broker, he considers communism and fascism all those extremes. He basically is like a bit of like a military primeval anarchist, where he's against, you know, all these pretentious philosophical systems, because these mercenaries have seen what that really means to be, you know, what happens on the other end of communism, because they've been in those proxy wars. So. I'd like to thank the Suzerain developers for this opportunity.
Cool.
And wish them Valley of Forgotten Souls. Thank you for watching. This is the outro segment, where I thank all the patrons. So 170 patrons in this episode. Not all of them appear in the episode, of course, but we're looking at least like a high 70s amount of patron cameos. Special thanks to Alana White and Brendan McGrady for their incredible acting work as Emily and Albert in this episode. This episode also features ravishing performances by John Cava, Brian Jeffords, Emily Sertal, Jerry Schultz, Chet Falco, and many others. There is an extra if you would like to stay up to date with the show's development, connect with us on your favorite social media platforms at dividedstates-project.com/connect. The Divided States is also available as a webcomic. All episodes. What was that?
Is it the Langdon at the Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, it's the Lincoln Memorial scene, and then we have the introduction of Corey Landis. Without the support of our patron cameo program. I'm actually really happy with this new studio setup that I have, where the lights, and it's the first time that we have like proper lights, and you know, it looks more professional that way. I have this big blue lights that casts this sort of side light, and it sort of bleeds into the camera. I like how it looks. The cinema recognizes James Carroll, kind of cyberpunky. First among equals. So here's a shout out to James Carroll. He's our guy in Ukraine. He's fine right now. I hope you're doing all right, James. Always in our thoughts. Flying ace Josh Bruder, who takes to the skies to guard the front line against the red. A lot of these top patrons are actually military men. We're a lot of active service, a lot of sergeants, lieutenants, which is interesting because they generally I'll have them play the cameo they do. I'll have them have their actual rank that they have in the military. Fighting to liberate New York from revolutionary rabble. Mountaineers Dwyarani Calhoun and Ranmax, who guard the frontier of the last true American.
I actually know a few of them online, actually. Some of the cameos. Zim, I know Zim.
Yeah, Comrade Zim is in the Zim is both maybe in the broker scene, but I know for sure he is in the farm scene with Sawyer and Logan. That I know for sure.
Yeah, and he's I think he's head dev of Union of Britain, the rework.
Yes, yep, Zim as well. We have a bunch of patrons and crewmen who are Kaiserreich developers, but it's not a 100% overlap, of course, because we're a different team.
I know, I was in this team.
Yeah.
You will see me holding a bar, folks. At the end of every video, with one hand.
Actually, no, another dev, no, Carmaine. He works with Zim.
ROC, are you joining us for the meetup in London, by the way? Are you available? It's Tuesday, 22nd.
No, unfortunately not.
The story of the Divided States continues. I need to put that in
Albert are on the way to have a conflict schedule thing. Yeah.
Their journeys will collide with
unfortunately, I can't make it. Sorry.
Can the man known as Albert truly be trusted?
I would go, but it's in London and I'm in Australia.
Never quite might be a
That's
tad
what you
bit-
get being the other side of the damn world.
Yeah, I woke up at 7 o'clock for this entire live stream. Kind of worth it though.
It is
Yeah,
one.
play.
It is 1:40 right now. I feel I'm getting old. You know, I'm 30. My back hurts if I'm up this long.
There's times where I wonder about it all, Abe.
The back's still troubling you?
Yeah. It's getting worse. Unfortunately, I'm thinking of talking to a surgeon. Because the past few months have been very difficult.
Look, it's me again.
And hoist you up alongside
Oh,
and
the
angles
tank.
as they burn churches.
Made by Cider.
Yeah. That was we're thinking of doing like along with the doing a tank design competition. I had a conversation with the developers of Sprocket, but they're not available for crossover. So if we do a competition, it would have to be with the rule that you cannot use Sprocket, because if not everyone has Sprocket, then the people who use Sprocket have, I think, an unfair advantage.
Rather than let the Republic fall? I do not deny it.
So, like, hand-drawn tanks.
I could have ended this.
Yeah, like schematics, I think will be cleanest, like pixel bucket stuff, right?
Or stuff like just mocking something up in like chip bucket or something.
These red snakes are from their foreign puppet masters. But we
just hope the folks don't go overboard, like, I don't know, develop like the Rattay or something.
And outside.
The Rattay's an easy target for airplanes.
We have the King Snake, the AOS Union State King Snake tank on the mood board. It's one of Panzer's more incredible.
Seeking to spread their godless ideology.
I'm still proud that I chose. I'm still happy that Langdon managed to get into the cinematic.
Germans.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do this scene. You know, this isn't like a very dramatic episode preview like we had, but you know, I think it's nice to end on this note.
I'm sorry.
It's a very the monologue was actually very poignant. Actually, it's even though you know the basis of it is very iffy, at least he believes in it. You know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see sort of the justifications that he sort of monologues towards Lincoln, and then very specifically here, what I did is I took the frames of the president, and then I painted his eyes black, so it's like he's sort of you know, gives a disapproving stare to Langdon, and then we have a little bit of comedy at the end with Texans coming in, the Texan telegram.
Oh, the Texans! Here we go.
The Texans.
Oh yeah. I remember this is actually an event in KR. It's like Texas can split either way. It can be independent or it can go split between AOS and the loyalists, I think. But that obviously that's changed.
He would be quoted verbatim.
Remind me again why I allied with the Democrat.
He's Texan, sir.
Langdon looks different compared to some of the other frames.
Yeah, it's very rough and very fast, you know, because this is a scene preview. That's why I put a big work in progress banner. That basically means that, you know, I'm half-assing it. Here, you know, the bridge has to be destroyed, but I just put like some red lines, like whatever, you know, the bridge is gonna be destroyed in the final frame, but I'm not gonna figure it out right now.
Yeah, like it changes, like his hairstyle changes, and one scene he has a beard, and the other scene he doesn't have a beard. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
and there we go.
Now I'm just thinking of a scene that Landon's in the Oval Office and got like a final message from McAllister.
We're thinking of merging McAllister and Patton into one, because then we can pull sort of a strong military figure in the Loyalists as well, and we can play that out a little bit. But we'll have conversations about that later. It's not super important.
Okay then. I was just thinking that funny thing that McAllister just leaves a note saying, "Eat shit, Landon."
All right, that's going to be it for the premiere live stream. I want to thank everyone who joined us. I'm going to hang out in Discord for a few more minutes, but I'm going to cut the live stream here. So what to look out for in terms of Divided States, there will be a writer contest later in the year. I'll be releasing some music, but of course it's going to be a long way to episode 3. Again, one-man project, so writing right now, and then I'll have to paint 1,000 more illustrations to get a new episode made. Follow us on dividedstatesproject.com/connect, where you can join our newsletter or join us on Discord or whatever social media platform you prefer, really. Twitter, Instagram, we share on everything. It's totally cool. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I want to thank everyone for joining, and I'm playing the outro. See you, everyone.
Against the machinations of the algorithm. Will you stand? Kaiser Cat Cinema needs you. Subscribe on YouTube and connect with us on all channels.
Yeah. Oh, are we offline now? We off?
We're still online.